So, what I have here in my arms is a weighted baby doll representing a 1-month-old baby that I'm going to put in the carrier, but first in my arm. I want to take some time and explain the correct position we would like to maintain once the baby is inside the carrier. Also, I'd like to point out that for this video I'm using a doll that I'll be trying to handle like a real baby as much as possible. Yet, in order not to bore you too much, we've decided to accelerate the videos. This is why you may find some movements too rough, but I'm doing my best. Now, let's focus on the physiological position we would want to maintain. What we need is to carry the baby at kissing height, visible, and with unobstructed airways. We're going to join his hands towards the center of his body to help him keep a correct curled-up position. Having their hands at mother reach help babies to stay centered and calm, because sometimes, when the arms are hanging down, baby's head follows and might slide sideways. Joining baby's hands in flexion towards the mid-center will also help keeping his horizontal line. The knees are bent and raised, at pelvis width. Make sure that the ankles are parallel to the knees. The ankles can also be placed inwards, as long as they follow the knees. We would like to keep this same position we created in arms once baby is inside the carrier. Now, we are going to take the booster kit and pull the pillow towards us, placing baby on it, hoping to keep the same position that the one we had in arms. This can of course be done very quickly. Nevertheless, it's important to take some time to explain this position in detail and to show how to place a newborn perfectly in the carrier. So, how should the baby's feet be positioned? What I should look for, once my newborn baby is against the booster kit, how to position his feet right. We don't want the feet to be stuck between your body and the booster. The baby really needs to be able to keep the natural curled-up position along the booster kit. It's important to make sure that the baby can tilt his pelvis. We don't want him sitting on the edge of the booster, nor on the flipped side. Let's take, for example, this small doll, which weighs less than 3 kilos, just like a newborn. We can easily see that the size of the booster is too big and pushes the legs apart and wider than the pelvis width. If your observations tell you this is also the case, I have the perfect tip for you. We are going to grab a small towel and roll it as tightly as possible. It should be narrower than the booster. So I take the booster out of his tube. Don't worry, you'll be able to use it in a few weeks when your baby will be bigger. Now we'll slide the towel into the empty jersey tube that holds it perfectly tight and in place. Let's find out if it works. Since with a newborn we would like to avoid our baby to overspread his legs, we need the legs to be gathered into a curled-up position, knees at pelvis width, higher than the bottom. Hands are mouth high. We give support with our cheek in order to be able to free one hand while maintaining the position and supporting baby's head. We pull the tube against us and tuck it underneath baby's knee, while our cheek is still supporting the baby's head. I control the curled-up position and immediately pull the central part against baby's back and slip into the carrier. What's left to do is to adjust the carrier to my body. I'm grabbing the suspender webbings against my ribs. I pull one side at a time, pulling down and forward to tighten. Then, you see, I can easily access the straps behind my back since my shoulder straps are still a bit loose and the webbing is super long. I grab and pull it to tighten. I grab again the webbing on the shoulder straps, just against my ribs. I continue and pull forward, adjusting the shoulder straps against my back to form an optimized support. While doing so, the horizontal straps moves against my shoulder blade and finds its place. Now, we continue to adjust the central part to baby's morphology. By pulling the lateral straps, we adjust not only the height, but also the width of the carrier. We always want to make sure the airways are clear. For instance, here you can give some slack and lower the carrier and pull again until you can really see the nostrils. You need to be able to slip 2 fingers between his chin and his chest. We're also going to check that there's no pressure on his knees, that his feet are free and not in contact with the belt, and that the baby is perfectly curled up in a flexed position. And now, let's try the installation of a bigger baby with the real booster kit. This doll represents an older baby who has reached more than 3 to 4 kilos. That corresponds to a 2-month-old baby. We're going to use the booster kit and install the baby comfortably, knowing that the gap between the two knees is equal to the pelvis width. Both hands are placed towards midline. Baby is at kissing height, with his nostrils visible and airways clear. The pelvis is tilted to a curled up position. We would like to maintain this same position once the baby is in the carrier. So, just like before, use your cheek to help you free one hand. I turn the booster towards me, and underneath baby's bottom, the booster replaces my arm and supports the bending knee. The feet are aligned with the booster. It is not overspread. The feet are never between you and your baby. Thanks to the booster, baby finds the same curled up position we gave him previously in arms. If baby is too small, it won't be able to do that, and the feet won't be positioned the way they should. If your baby is still too small, don't hesitate to use the small towel as a momentary solution. Here we can see that baby's knees follow the pelvis width. The pelvis is tilted, the knees are bent, and thighs are well supported, and his legs follow naturally the knees. Now, I pull up the central part. Slip my arm in the suspender and pull the webbings to adjust the carrier perfectly to my size. I hope this video was helpful. If so, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment and ask questions. We will be glad to help and give you answers.